Hey, welcome, man. Good to have you. Just sent you a co-host invite. All right.
Yo,
Yo, what's up, man?
what's up, bro? How you feeling today? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Another day, another dollar. What about you?
I'm doing real good, man. I'm just at the pool, relaxing with the family, just chilling. You know, just staying on top of everything.
Yeah, man. You got to do. You got to do right. You got to do. This is exciting. We should see some people piling in here soon. But thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. I was trying to be in first spaces the other day. I'm just on 24-hour calls, so it's hard. But I made sure I took the next couple of days off so I can be able to attend all of these events. You feel me?
Yeah, man. Sorry, I was just yelling at my old lady to grab me a drink. Need a nice cold beverage. You know what I mean? Get down to some disclosure shit. I need something cold.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready for this News Nation interview. Just dealing with this guy Patrick from Vetted, and just taking care of business, bro.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Just getting let's see, we're getting some co-hosts. Anybody else want to be a co-host? Let me know.
Oh, I'm
Who's
down.
in the space right now? Cool. You want? Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Cool, man. Yeah, it's loading up in there. We'll get some people in there, man. It's good to have you. So, was it you enjoying yourself at the pool today? I'm down here in Orlando. We were supposed to have some hurricane action here, but we didn't get much here. But
Looks like Hurricane Helen has changed her trajectory.
yeah, right. But magically, just it seems to be able to do its own maneuvers.
Dude, Mr.
Hey,
Rogers, big homie, I can't believe this space is fucking happening right now. What's up, you guys?
hello, hello. Good to hear from you, bro.
Dude, it's good to hear from you. It's great to see you back in a space, man.
Yes, sir, man. Definitely, definitely, man. Thank y'all for having me. I'm taking all questions. Anybody want to ask me anything? I'm here. I
Hell
got
yeah. Glad you're here,
the
big homie.
Thank y'all. Thank you to everybody who reached out to me, showing me words of support, helping me guide my way through the UFO world. It's been an interesting journey, but so many people reached out to me showing support. I decided, you know what, let me stick around for the people that care and matter and the good people that's alive, and we just gonna work.
Dude,
Yo, can I
big
say something
homie,
real
like
quick?
almost everybody you see in this room has been through some sort of journey of having to survive, like you know, all the haters in spaces. Anybody who has a voice, like they get targeted at some point, and everybody knows, like, not the game, but what it's like to want to quickly leave this place. And most of us have been through a few of those waves, man. So we're glad that you're coming out on the other end.
Yo, I just want to tell big homie something real fast. Um, I am the most activated person over what you said about Lou Lamar. And low key, I gotta tell you, bro, I know you're telling the truth about Lou Lamar. I know there is no one in this community who has said that guy's name. When you said it, I spit my drink out, bro. I know you're telling the truth, and I need to get connected with you over this. I'm like, I lost sleep over it.
So let me make sure I follow you on Twitter right now. Who was that just speaking?
Sister Linda, forgive her.
Okay.
Sister Linda, yeah, don't let the voice confuse you. Sister Linda.
I just followed you right now, and my whole thing was like, bro, I'm not the type of guy in the world I live in. You can't just go around making stuff up, because once you start doing that, a lot of powerful people will lose trust in you, and you won't get booked. People won't call you. It'll get harder to pay the bills. It'll get harder to maneuver. And I knew I was taking a risk, but bro, I got a special skill set, and it's like you're not gonna pick on me or bully me. So, me being a guy who has been privy to some of the things I've been privy to, when I mention that person's name, you're the only person who really knew what was going on, because a lot of people just don't know about these type of things taking place in this realm. So I followed you. You could DM me, whatever. We can get on a FaceTime call. You want to talk or whatever? It's all good, bro. It's all good. It's just that I had problems with the guy Patrick at Vetted, and I don't like nobody to try to lie on me or try to put words in my mouth, because I'm highly calculated. You feel me? I'm very strategic when I do certain things. So, and I'm not somebody who's just gonna let things lay on the Twitter space, man. Somebody will reach out and tap you on your shoulder, and that's what happened to the guy Patrick. He's down there in Plano, Texas, and it was kind of shocking and disturbing to him that I was able to get his phone number and FaceTime him. He was like, "How did you get my number?" It kind of startled him and shook him, but he was playing crazy
And people
games
say
with
that
me.
to me all the time. Yeah, people are always to me. They're like, "How'd you get my number?" Yeah.
All right, like, come on, bro. There are resources out here. There are resources,
I will
and
just
I'm
say,
one of those
Killa, I
people.
think Patrick is a good guy, what I've seen, and I do know there's a lot of manipulation that goes on behind the scenes. So I would just be very careful if anyone's trying to rile you up
No, no,
against
bro.
him.
I've been talking to him directly. I got the screenshots. I've been talking to him directly, bro. No one's trying to. No, I'm not somebody that you can send on a blank mission. That dude, he play weird games, bro. Like, he does weird things. Like, he was telling little lies and stuff like that. And I tried to clear the air with him once. He played a game. I tried to do it again. He played a game. You feel me? Like,
It's like, how many times, right? Are we gonna play the game, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many
exactly,
times? Yeah,
exactly.
man. It's a weird place, man. UFO Twitter is a weird place. I mean, why the fuck do people think that I'm Mr. Rogers? The only reason I have a Mr. Rogers face on here is because this place is fucking toxic. So
Yeah, it's definitely toxic, but I'm not somebody that can be manipulated or like stuff like that. I come from a very dangerous world with very dangerous people. So for a guy like that to be trying to play little games, I had to show him that uh, you know, I don't get paid the big bucks for a reason. When there are exigent circumstances at hand, I'm somebody people call. So he walking his dog. Somebody came and tapped him on his shoulder, and it freaked him out. And when I called him on FaceTime, he couldn't really believe what was going on. But it was kind of like he didn't really do his homework on me at all. I'm not a guy who was standing in the club the last 10 years just overhearing things. You feel me? My body of work is solidified. My client list is verifiable. I post receipts all the time. So it just came to a point where, you know, he had to be humbled, and it's been taken care of, and it's all good.
sometimes you got it, man. You're not like the dude in the club sitting around with 1,000 bottles of baby oil. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So I'm pretty sure there's footage of me on camera attacking Sean Combs' oldest son for spiking champagne bottles and stuff like that. So, like, you know,
Wow.
I, I've been in the mix. Like,
You
I've
went
really
hella
been in the
viral too with this
mix.
Diddy
So it's kind
stuff,
of like,
Killa. Some of that stuff. I want to get into some of
yeah,
that tonight.
yeah. That's why that's one reason they called me to go on News Nation about that, and stuff I was talking about on No Jumper about the UFO stuff and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'm taking all questions though.
Wow, cool, man, awesome. So, where do you think we should start, guys? Where do you think we should start? I mean, should we start? Killer, do you mind sharing like for time purposes, a condensed version of your story, just kind of to brief anybody in the room that doesn't really know? Um,
Sure. So I've been working as a private bodyguard for about 15 years now. A lot of these people I've worked for or currently work for are either in the private sector or entertainment fields. I recently went viral for doing a no jumper interview and speaking about a situation where a gentleman who was a whistleblower agreed to testify in front of Congress, and he reached out to me and my team to keep him safe until he was able to do so. Unfortunately, I did not. I didn't take the job. A lot of weird things happened immediately after. Unfortunately, the gentleman I believe I was in contact with passed away, and the things that I've been saying on these platforms has made me go viral and led me here.
Wow. Wow.
And that was
Yeah.
Sergeant Carl Wolf, by the way. That was the gentleman, Sergeant Carl Wolf.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're here now, and you had your warm welcome, and now we're all here together in this space, and we're going to talk about some real shit. So as we get
Hey,
going
Fred,
here,
you're.
somebody had a hot mic. It
I think
wasn't me. I
it's
muted him. Maybe it's good. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Cool. So as we get started here, anybody in the audience that wants to ask questions during the space, go ahead and just we have limited speakers here, but go ahead and request speaker, and then you can put your hand up, and we'll get to hands throughout. And I guess as we start off the space here. Uh, I'm gonna start it off with a fire question for Killer here, and we'll get the juices going, and then we can get going. And so the question I would have to ask is, Killer, do you believe, in your opinion, that that beings or NHI or whether they're extraterrestrial or they live in some break-off civilization on Earth or whatever it is, do you believe that they live among us?
So to answer your question, it's of my belief, and it's a firm belief, that yes, they do. There's a gentleman named Robert Bigelow who I've been able to meet before, and according to him, you know, he built a facility because he was supposed to receive a craft of non-human origin. At the last second, people in DOD vetoed the decision, taking his talent to skinwalk. And he didn't delve into what tests he made, but he said that they've done studies, they've done tests, and is of his belief that creatures not 100% human walk among us. Yes, that I believe that to be true, and I've had pretty substantial evidence to support that. Yes, I do believe that.
Well, thank you, Chris, and Logan, you have your hand up. Go ahead, man.
Sorry, I couldn't hit my button. Someone told me that I don't know if it was Big Homie that said it, but that apparently he was on a boat alongside there was like he was shown something, and it was like these images with the guy that was from the owner of OceanX, Dennis, and there was like these fish people or something, and that when these people saw this on this boat, they like cried because it was just like so much to show them, I guess. I don't really remember the specific details, but you know what I'm talking about? I was hoping you could explain more about like what happened there.
Yeah, so some years back, I was with a client, and there was a boat called the Anna Marie. It's like a real big, fucking like luxury
Like a
yacht.
yacht, right? Like a mega yacht.
Yeah, pretty big yacht. Apparently, yeah, I didn't even at this point at that time of my life like seeing like a boat that big where like some people lived on the boat and like all the amenities that were on the boat. Pretty interesting to me. So I believe it was Tupa who had the spaces going. So this story is pretty just like this. I'm with a client. We're on a boat. The guy, they're looking at they're looking at a yellow device. They were looking at a yellow device. and a group of people are looking at some images, a lot of oohs and ahs about whatever they was looking at. And speaking of Tupa, he mentioned up that the device was called a fluke. So from his description, I believe it's the same device. Now, then a gentleman pulls out these photos. Like they're pretty large, like pictures. And I didn't get to look at the pictures directly because I'm in the distance. But I seen people's reactions to how they seen the photos. And I seen grown people, adults, actually I seen one person drop down, like if someone gets down with like they're like behind their knees crying because of whatever was on those images. So now I overheard a guy said maybe this is who the Dogon spoke about. And I had already been doing like my own research since a child. So I was familiar with the Dogon origin story about how they encountered some people from the sky. So I believe like two reptilian brothers, some along those lines. And I also remember them encountering a group called the Namo, who came from the ocean, taught them certain things, told them don't trust this group of people. And yeah, I seen this happened. The guy Luis Lamar is a real person, uh, and people who had interest about this in the private sector. He was on the boat. He was showing the pictures. And
Was this was somebody on the boat from OceanX?
yes,
Wow.
I mean, cause I talked to
It
this
like
Genesis guy, the guy that owns OceanX. I asked him, I was like, "Do you know anything about these what this whole scenario?" He said he knows nothing about it. I was like, "You think he's just lying to me?"
definitely.
I'm not
yeah,
surprised.
right.
There used to be a video of this guy Luis Lamar explaining this to a group of people on a boat. This and the article itself has pretty much been scrubbed from the internet. So like when Sister Linda was pretty much bugging the fuck out about this, he's bugging out for a reason because it's the truth. It's the facts. It is the facts. And like I've heard guys. I've heard was it a pilot or like the captain of the boat. I distinctly remember a situation. I'm a little fuzzy on the dates and details, but I do remember a guy saying he seen something starboard side that looked like a person, but it was a large person sticking his arms up out the water and then dove back down in the water. So,
Wow. When you were on the boat? Was this like near off the coast of San Diego or near Catalina or?
well, we got on the boat in California.
Okay. Wow. What
Yes.
is man? Was it like in the similar vicinity of where like the Nimitz event happened?
Uh,
Like off the coast of San Diego, like 300 or 400 miles or something.
it's possible.
Possible, yeah.
I'm not an aeronautical guy.
Right. Well,
Like I'm not.
there's a lot of activity that happens like on that you know on that line right there. A lot of activity. It's a hotbed. But that's a
Yeah,
crazy story, man. That's just like wild, man. People like on their knees, like couldn't fake. You can't fake that shit, right? When somebody's like crouched down like that and their emotions are like literally pouring out of them.
yeah. Like I seen people like covering like their mouths and like in shock.
It reminds me of the 4chan picture. You guys remember that? How apparently when people saw the 4chan alien, that made them all have these like reactions, and it was just like a still image. Uh,
No.
The one in the like out by Joshua Tree.
yeah, it was something like that. I never saw it. I tried to dig into it to see like what the fuck is this image, but I just heard a lot of people talking about it and shit like that. Yeah.
I saw it. It was like crazy looking, man. It was like yeah, it was all weird and pixelated and stuff. I remember
I heard it
that,
was
but
making
yeah,
people like throw up and shit just by seeing the picture.
Oh, I remember that one. It was during the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what they say. And they say it was almost like a selfie. Yeah, it's similar in 2014 or so.
I came
I
across.
mean, nah, it was lame. I think it was probably like a fake one, the one I saw then.
Wow. Okay. So after after the after that event, so this event on the boat, Killer, this was like before. Was this before you were doing protection for somebody that was in the military or something? Was this before that, or
Way after.
it was after?
Yeah. This is
Okay.
this. It didn't precede. It was after for sure.
Okay.
Because my whole thing is this. You know, when you were around like billionaires and like a lot of rich people, like they be real serious. Like they be real serious about certain things. Like the things they believe in, they be real serious about that. And then like they'll put you through certain little tests to see like are you in the know or you're not in the know.
Yeah.
So me seeing certain people's reaction gave me an eerie feeling. Gave me an eerie feeling, and um, there are things going on in the world, but like things do bump in the night, bro. Like
Yeah.
after that event, I lost sleep myself because it's like, man, you know, did I wanna risk losing my job and just go over there and BodyGuard and take the photos and look at it myself? Of course. I thought about it all night. I slept on this damn boat. You feel me? I was like, man, everybody sleep.
Wow.
I need to try to find those pictures, but it's like you don't want to betray trust. You don't, and then you out here on a boat. With like, the more wealthy somebody is, the more dangerous they are. So, you're out here on
Right.
the boat. You're the only black dude there.
Do you know where the boat
You know,
was? I'm sorry if you mentioned it. Like, where was the boat?
so I, we were we set sail from California.
All right.
Like we set. I don't want to invent anything. You feel me? Or like try to answer a question with knowledge that I don't have. I know we set sail from California. I remember a lady giving me a bottle of champagne.
I mean, this had to be in
I
the
was sitting.
last couple of years too, because I know when that like this had to right like in a couple of years ago. Did this happen?
Yeah, this it wasn't a long time. I would say probably within the last 5 or 6
All right.
years.
But do you know how
Wow.
he
So
knew these photos? Like when he had like, because I'm curious. When I saw this video surface of him, Lou Lamar, claiming that he had documented what were essentially stingray, as he claimed them to be stingray-shaped aliens of hyper advanced nature underwater. That's what he claimed to have documented on OceanX's main page, and then it got taken down. So, and this video came out, and I want to say in 2020. So he may have documented within a year or so before that. So I'd say 2018 might have been, when he first saw it.
wow. So
Okay,
after,
so
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll say this. So I was privy to this before the article dropped. I will say that because when I seen him having on, I said, "Oh, I seen that dude before. Oh, I recognize him.
Oh shit!
Oh, wait a second. Oh, so he's gonna reveal this." So I'm like, okay, well, if he reveals it, then I might tell some people about it. But he didn't. And then I seen people. I found this Instagram, and I seen people on the Instagram, and I seen him telling people, "Oh, it was all just a big joke." But that's bullshit.
Well, yeah, he's probably freaked out, man. Right? Probably freaked out. It's, yeah. I mean, the truth is stranger than fiction. Things do go bump in the night. You're right, man. Like this is. I think a lot of people take this topic way too. They're way too chill about it, right?
Lou Lamar's social media is gone. He has no social media. You cannot reach him. You cannot find him. He does not have a contact me page. Nothing.
Because he never finishes his funnels. Um,
So after Killer, after the boat event, Um, did you notice like any weird, strange happenings around you, like after that event? Vehicles, or noticing like weird patterns of stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. So here we go. So here's the thing. I want to say something else. Now, I've flown on charter jets a lot of times due to my job and in my personal life. Like sometimes I'll fly private to go certain places, so I don't got to go through TSA, and I can have certain tools with me without having to go through a hassle. And I distinctly remember there was a pilot. His name was Jeff, and Jeff had mentioned to me after. So I was at a location and I was actually grilling up some food, like waiting for like them to like refuel a plane or some shit like that. And the guy Jeff had brought up a situation where one day he was on a flight from Florida to, I think he was going like to St. Kitts or something like that. And he said some lights began to encompass his plane. He's calling it in to the tower, et cetera, et cetera. And then he said a person appeared on the flight and told him he should not be flying through this area and change course. He said a guy, like in a weird suit,
No fucking way.
appeared on the plane, said this to him. Him and his co-pilot seen it, and I believe there was like a flight attendant there. She seen it, passed out. This person then disappeared. The lights went away, and his course was changed without him doing anything.
This is some Star Trek
Wow.
shit.
So like you're like on a private flight, like a citation or something, like a charter, like and how many people were on this aircraft? Like
So, like I said, this is secondhand information I got from the pilot himself. Uh,
wow.
yeah, that's what the man told me. And he said when he spoke about it, he was told, keep his mouth shut or he'll never fly again. So that's what he was told, and he kept it pretty hush hush. And yeah, I just left it at that. I was like, man,
That's some
but
next level shit right there, man. Somebody just appears like poof.
Tom, Tom DeLonge said a similar story, but when he said it, it was some military guys on a boat, like on a military vessel, and he said something similar. So like over the years, I just been connecting dots because, only in this community where people just disavow circumstantial evidence, but in every court in the country, people can get a life sentence from circumstantial evidence, from eyewitness testimony. You can't convict someone without a witness. So I understand that there are certain people who try to mislead people for financial gain or commit hoaxes or things along those lines. But, you know, when a guy's pension is on the line and his mortgage is on the line, the guy's not going to risk that. So, yeah.
You have your hand up still, Red? Or is
Yeah,
this just,
yeah, I do. But I was kind of wanted to bring up a different topic. So if you guys want to flesh out this is very interesting stuff. Especially because I know Big Homie too. You've had personal kind of Men in Black experiences. So like this whole orb Men in Black connection, I've honestly never really come across, but it kind of makes sense. Uh, Pretty interesting stuff there. If y'all are ready, we
Also,
can.
Mr. Rogers, hold on, Mr. Rogers. Like I kind of want to address this mic situation. I don't know if you do have like a really crappy mic, Mr. Rogers. I don't know if you realize this. I just
Oh
want to
yeah,
make sure to
that's my
bring it to your attention.
so no. Yeah, I have my full attention.
Oh, not you, sir. But yeah, so okay, then Big Homie, I got a question with all this P Diddy stuff because, yeah, you went like viral with that one clip and you said something that really I found interesting. Like you were asked about Diddy and then you kind of went to Scientology. You didn't really say Diddy's a
Um,
Scientologist, but you're like a lot of these people are Scientologists. So I got one first I want to say is that I think there's a lot of Scientology underneath a lot of this UFO disclosure movement, just like under the scenes a little bit. Like people aren't upfront with it. But so, do you think there's a big Scientology element in that? And then two, with these freak offs and this kind of Epstein stuff, do you think there's a non-human intelligence element to it that like You know what I mean? They're doing all this weird freaky shit for some kind of non-human entity.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, when it comes to like the whole freak offs and stuff like that, I'm not gonna directly try to connect that to NHI simply because like you know, very few times have I met honorable men that had several billion dollars. So when it comes to certain things, I will say this: there's something weird about
AI.
how real something weird about the thing with the with trafficking children. Something weird about that. There's something weird about yeah, like because here's the thing: any guy I knew who did ecstasy for an extended period of time always ended up in a sexual situation with another man or something like that. So when they arrested Diddy, he had ecstasy on him. So he's been doing ecstasy for 20 years. So I'm an eyewitness to some nonsense partaking. So I'm not gonna say I do believe that there are non-human intelligences that keep human beings in a state of war. I will say that because it's not suspicious to anybody. We have all these brilliant people, all these brilliant, bright beings, but we cannot solve problems. To me, that is very strange. And
Yeah, Tom DeLonge says that a lot. Have you ever met Tom DeLonge, big homie?
yeah,
Is that kind of how you got mixed up with Bigelow? How did you end up at Bigelow touring that?
um, I got into the thing with Bigelow started by being a bodyguard for an artist, and he paid the artist to show up to a party in character.
Did,
So, like, take Jaleel for example. Like, people can pay him, he'll show up to a party in Steve Urkel.
okay. And did you pick Bigelow's brain? I'd imagine, right? Being into this subject like you are.
Yeah, he was pretty shocked that I was even interested in this. He was pretty shocked, like due to my appearance and how I carry myself. He was pretty. At first, he was kind of perplexed, and then he asked me certain questions, and he had told me, "I'll talk to you a little bit later." And I'm standing next to her at the event they was having. It was an open bar, so I'm getting all the free beers I can get. I'm standing there having a beer, and he walks up and he starts talking to me. It wasn't like I didn't really get to pick his brain. I was able to ask him certain stuff, but he gave me like 10 minutes where he gave me a little bit of a rundown, tapped me on the shoulder, told me I was a good man, and that was the end of it.
Okay, so I was interested in talking that narrative of disclosure. Like that's where I'm awaiting feedback. Not sorry, it's not the time of this conversation, but just to give you a heads up that like I'm very interested in which way um the disclosure narrative is going to take and go forward. What's the actual um yeah Logan knows what I'm talking about.
Well,
Why
yeah,
am
because
I?
like big homie, you kind of alluded to knowing that maybe Lou Elizondo might be at this upcoming hearing, and I don't know. What did you from your yeah? That's a good question. Like from your perspective, where is this disclosure headed? And maybe even throw in some of the me and Doomer here. We did an epic 5 hour stream. We actually talked about you a little bit in it, big homie. There's a lot of like end of the world talk. Maybe they're coming back. Aliens are returning talk. What's your take on like where this is all headed?
Okay, so the whole talk of like aliens returning, that's weird to me because it's been documented. There's been certain species that's been here since before we have been here.
So
They're
nice to meet you, by
they're
the
cave.
way, Killa.
Let's let Killa finish.
Thank you. So there are cave paintings of the same graves that people report today. Tom DeLonge says that they're robots, they're drones working for another species. Um, Something happened that enhanced the modern human being. And I don't believe that there is like some grand arrival, but I do believe that there's going to be some type of shift in our spectrum to where, you may be able to see things you couldn't see before.
It
Point
reminds me
blank.
of the demon face syndrome that they talk about all the time. And I was there when you told that last story about you were in a club and basically you saw like a reptilian shapeshift their face kind of thing. I feel like there's going to be a lot of that going on. Or like people are just going to, it's going to be like
Yeah,
They Live, right? Where they put on the glasses and you can really see what's going on. It feels like they're prepping for that. Cause like I said, they're really pushing this demon face syndrome thing. And when you sent the pic of what the face you saw was, it was pretty similar to this demon face syndrome pics that they're pushing really hard.
absolutely, absolutely. That's what I believe is something like that along the lines is going to take place. Because when you see like the Israeli Space Force person director saying that Americans have an agreement with tall white aliens. You feel me? When you see Linda Moulton Howe
Jaime Shed.
asking Luis Elizondo, do he believe that our government has an agreement with these tall white NHI? And he responds, I'm aware of what you're talking about. You see David Grush get asked the question when he's getting told to testify, does he believe that our government has agreements with NHI? And he says he'll talk about that in a private setting. Yes, man, it's going on. Disclosure has already happened. When Dr. Roger Lear discovered the implant for broadcasting into deep space, and him and his partner, before he died himself, had a program they were working on to hack the alien internet, disclosure has already happened. So it's just when you look
Oh yeah,
how
disclosure has
people are.
happened. I don't know what the consensus was during that disclosure. However, like we are at the final pages of the final chapter of the old world. Um, the new world order. Like, of course, I'm interested in when I'm looking at it from a business perspective as
Yeah,
to how can AI, blockchain narratives link the bridge between the forces at play for accommodation. Say,
so I'll say this. I see what you're saying. So it's of my belief that when you take guys like Elizondo, he's a soldier. His job is to assess and mitigate threat. In his mind, there's somebody operating here on the planet that is above all control, rules, and regulations. Now, when it comes to like AI, let's say a couple million years ago, somebody created AI. That AI could be what the Greys are.
yeah.
I don't know if you I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named Patrick Jackson. Uh, the Bet sphere is real. The spheres are real. Those shining lights that pilots are seeing, those are those same spheres. During the daytime, some of them shine, some of them don't. Those those are powered by some form of AI. It's no way around it. The Navajo Rangers have video of planes flying across the sky. They see these same spheres come, circle the plane, look around, and leave. It's the same exact thing. It's the same. It's the same thing. Disclosure has already happened, but human beings act as if they're looking for an owner people look at the government as their owners. If their owners don't tell them what's going on, they don't believe it. So it's just all the same thing. It just adds to the same scenario that uh, there was a theory that human beings have a worship gene. I don't know how true that is, but if you are NHI and you want to keep these people from destroying themselves,
Mhm.
give
Yeah, I think like we are all like under one roof, so to speak, and we have to abide by the law that we all have the same laws in this. We all do, sister.
is that the real Anjali right there?
No, we don't. Like what? Yeah, until you maybe graduate. If you know, maybe you had a
You know
Sergeant
Anjali there,
Carl
Kevin?
Wolf's story. I find him to be a very fascinating person. I was just having a discussion with someone that he was killed by a truck. And I know you've mentioned before that you've heard of people, I guess being killed or hurt in roadside accidents in similar fashions. Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, in the world I operate in, if you want to, they call them renditions, I believe. Yeah, I know several people who have been killed that way. Walking across the street, get hit by a car, they never find the car, hit by a truck, no license plate for the truck, same scenario. I've seen it over and over. That's it's typical. It's probably why the guy came reaching out. Straight facts.
And you also stated Sergeant Carl Wolf. Could you run us through? I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it before. I apologize if I stepped out. This, um, he came to you or somebody you were working for protection, and he spoke about. I remember you were mentioning he was pounding his fist on the table. Could you walk us through that again? That's a fascinating story.
Yeah, man, he had some photos. I thought it was like a desert. He explained to me what it was. I thought some of the craters was kind of huge. I'm like, damn. Uh, you know, he ran it for a few minutes. He had sweat on his forehead. Whenever you see the wrinkles in between the guy's eyes tense up, you look at his arms, you see the hair standing up. He's serious. He's emotionally involved. He's speaking from experience. He's not inventing. And he was just pounding his hand on the index finger down on the table pretty hard, explaining how there's a cover up going on. Uh, he feels like he shouldn't be in danger. He felt like he was a patriot and stuff like that. Uh, I seen the photos. Period. He said what his job was. I don't know if that's the truth because in this business, a lot of people lie. To cover their tracks so you can't pinpoint a person. But he was pretty adamant that there's another race of people that occupy our moon. He was pretty adamant about that. He's pretty adamant. One of I seen a vehicle look like a plow truck, something like that. I seen something like a protractor, and he showed several photos of this protractor object going across the surface of the moon and then going out of view. And you know, he told me that that truck that I seen was 2 miles long. So yeah, that's what he said to me. And just to provide further context, I always worked with a certain company, and there are a lot of very skilled, tough guys that work for that company. And I was the youngest, and I was the person who didn't have military experience. So I would usually be the one that had to go do the threat assessment. So that's what it was. It was a threat assessment. And during the threat assessment, I got freaked out, came outside, seen my Bentley doors all open, car ransacked, couldn't believe
just
it.
got interviewed by
Nothing was
the
taken.
FBI, so go figure. My
When,
head is
when was
lit.
this ransacked?
All right. Check. Microphone check. Is my microphone clear now? Can anybody hear me? Yep. Good. All right. Here we go.
Yo, when they ransacked your car, big homie, was that when was that they went through your ride?
Can you say that one more time?
Yo, like you said, you said you came out and like your ride, like somebody had gone through your car. Like around when do you think that was? Like, was this around a particular time when you were protecting someone, or?
This was immediately as I got done talking to him. When I got done, I got up from the table, came outside. My car was already
Wait,
searched.
so after talking to Sergeant Carl Wolf, your car was like searched?
Yeah, this went on for weeks.
That's fucking crazy,
bro. My car would get towed, and I would go get it, and they would give it to me for free.
So somebody had paid for the tow already?
They wouldn't tell me who did it. They wouldn't tell me anything. They was giving me the car back.
That's annoying.
Hell, very annoying. And then it messed up the suspension on the car. So I ended up selling and getting another car, and the same thing happened again.
What's the point of that, do you think?
It really didn't stop until one day I'm in the car, and I kind of had a meltdown. I said, whatever's going on, I want nothing to do with it. I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing. You'll never hear from me again. I said all that stuff in the car, and a couple of days later, things went back to normal.
I gotta try that.
Because I'm going to kill your ass. You come playing with me. So it's like, I'm not scared of hell or jail. So I didn't know all of the underlying circumstances. You know, I thought somebody was trying to make me go crazy. But I'm not crazy.
Who do you think was doing that shit?
Yeah.
Like, if you had to take a guess.
All I know is, bro, after I talked to him, weird dudes in black suits were showing up all the time. Sitting outside the crib, staring straight ahead with black sunglasses on.
Can you describe what else they were wearing?
Just straight black suits, belt, shoes. Some 2 times they had hats on, like weird, like top hats, I guess. Like they looked like they was going into a funeral.
Right, and totally out of place, right? Like they were just standing out there, kind of creeper-like.
These boys did not react like normal people. Like their lips was weird. Like they just had one even skin tone, weird. I never got to look at their eyes, nothing like that. They talked funny. Like I was like one of them was like a robot or something. Like it was
What did
weird.
they say
It was
to you?
weird.
What did
like,
you hear?
Wow.
What I can remember, only thing I can remember from my interactions with them verbally was, guy asked me to see my ID, and he laughed weird. Like his laugh was weird. Like the way his head turned and when he laughed. Like, what does this do? An android, a robot?
Are you able to like recreate the laugh? Like, was it like or like? I mean, how would you describe it? Like, fuck.
That's so weird.
Shit.
Yeah, man, it was making me mad. I'm like, man, who? Because at the same time, though, bro, I was having problems with these Serbian dudes. I was having problems with them. So I'm thinking it's them. I'm like, man, these boys don't even look Eastern. They don't even look European. Like, they don't even look like. And like, I never seen a person who didn't have 2 different pigments on their lip. Like they did. They. That's what really kind of.
Maybe just Michael Jackson. I mean,
Creeped me.
other than Michael Jackson, right? Never seen it before.
Exactly. Like that. Exactly.
Freaky. Yeah, it's like people.
If you ever saw the movie, like that, remember Michael Jackson does join the MIB.
Yeah.
So maybe not too far off.
Well, there are lots of stories. This is very interesting. Lots of stories, people experiencing people in suits acting extremely bizarre. Like, yeah, this android behavior. Like sometimes they would be wearing makeup that was smeared also. So, the idea that's, I mean, this is so, this is like old school weirdo Men in Black suit crap. Like it's fucking super weird.
Yeah, I never thought about the makeup aspect of it, but I don't know, bro. I just know I felt in danger. I know that much.
Did they have a car? Did you ever see them have a vehicle or anything?
Crown Victorias. One day they were in a gold Mercedes Benz, like an E class, and or just normal Lincoln Town cars, black.
Sometimes too, people have described like certain Men in Black characters as sometimes driving like almost like vintage vehicles, right? Like or like vehicles that like kind of are out of place at times, almost like they're time traveling, you know, and trying to calculate like what kind of vehicle they would be in that time, but they're off by a little bit.
Yeah, like so. Just okay. You know, I've been investigated before by FBI and shit like that, so I didn't get that vibe from them. Like, you know, it was a couple of times I thought about shooting these motherfuckers because I'm thinking it's the Serbians. But like when you walk up to the car, they just stare straight ahead with the windows rolled up. And even some days it was hot. I'm like, man, the car's not even on. How is he sitting in there not sweating? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, yeah, I moved and everything. I moved out of Chicago and everything after this.
Oh, nice. We got Doomer up here.
Yeah, he's been kind of quiet.
Hey man,
Or actually, I think he left.
yeah, I wanted to say,
Oh, there he is.
can you guys hear me? Sometimes I have a ghost in the machine.
Yeah, you're good.
What's up, Doomer?
Dude, Mr. Rogers, it's awesome that you have Killa in the house. I just wanted to say, Big Homie reached out to me the other day and said, "Hey, dude, I was working the whole time. I'm sorry I missed the space, and we rescheduled for today. And I had an emergency come up, and I just wanted to say, Killa, I was worried that you were going to think that it was some sort of power play. I legitimately had an emergency and I couldn't do it. And I just wanted to say it was super, super cool of you that you weren't like, that you were just like, no, it's cool. We'll find the right time that works for both of us. I wanted, while people are here in the room, I wanted other people to know that, yeah, that like, that I also like canceled on him. And I'm really grateful that you're back in the spaces and we're going to be able to work something out. I just wanted to say something publicly. I don't want people to think that like you completely ghosted us the other day.
Yeah, and you know, when I tell people I'm on 24-hour call, I don't think they understand what that means. So like, it'd be hard for me to commit to certain dates. So in order for me to get some days off, I gotta put it in 7 days in advance to get it approved. So yeah, like that's why I reached out. You know, I didn't think it was a power play or anything like that. Shit happens, things come up. I wanted to be there for the event, but I just couldn't because if my flip phone rings, like I have to stop everything I'm doing and go to where I'm told to be at.
Yeah, it's cool, and I appreciate you being so cool about me having an emergency today. Do you really have a flip phone?
Yeah, I got a flip phone.
That's just like for work, so you know when it's like important?
Yeah, I call it the bat phone.
It's actually more secure that you have a flip phone. The flip phones are more secure than the fucking Android or iPhone, right?
And they're sexier.
Yeah.
They look cooler, yeah, too.
So if your phone does not have a removable battery, you're under 24-hour surveillance. So like the phone I'm using right now is out. So at night, this phone goes into a Faraday box, and I typically only carry the flip phone because you can remove the battery from the phone. If you can't remove the battery, you're under constant surveillance. You're being listened to. If the phone is powered off, you're still being listened to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Rogers? Is that cool?
Let me think about it. Yeah, of course you can.
And thanks for the co-host invite, man. I had the screen off, so I just saw it. I also wasn't doing a power play. Killa, I heard you talk about there's all these apocalyptic scenarios. There's reports of the James Webb Telescope that, it's going to find, or it has found, like a planet with proven, intelligent life. And then there's rumors of an approaching object, and some of those rumors coincide with, I think, something that you said, that the aliens are coming here to watch the apocalypse. Can you sort of just like throw everything on the table that you know about theories about some sort of catastrophic event or anything that's coming within the next 10 to 15 years?
Yeah, sure. So here's the thing. I don't like the word alien because these creatures have been documented to have been here long before us. So the impending apocalypse scenario, throughout human history, there have been documented situations that have changed the course of human history. Now, I firmly believe that a lot of things are being put into the media. It's all being politically controlled to sway for votes and for policy. The idea that something is coming here, we didn't hear about any of this type of information until Avi Loeb called out the scientific associations for not properly documenting the Uma Mama phenomenon. And a lot of things are only being revealed now because of Space Force and a lot of other situations that are taking place. So now, you know, it's just dripping. It's just drip, drip, drip. End of the day, I firmly believe human beings are being farmed here on this planet, like in a petri dish. There are governing species that call the shots in certain aspects of things. Uh, there's always apocalyptic tales throughout history, but humans are still here, and somebody enhanced us to defeat and out survive the Cro-Magnons and all those other variations of human beings. Somebody enhanced us to be how we are, and that's just that. Like the theories of impending doom and things like that, I don't really get into all of that. I just go off the facts that, you know, it's very suspicious that all these brilliant people that we have and we can't work on one accord. It's very strange. Extremely
Well,
And
strange.
I mean,
And I just
Killa,
people are
I'm
acting weird too, right? Like people are acting strange, at least that I noticed. I mean, maybe I'm just like maybe I drank too much of the experience or Kool-Aid, but I mean when I'm out and about like lately, I mean today for example, I mean it was ridiculous. I'm like in a store, it's like I'm talking to a robot, and I just want to be like, hello, hello, like what's wrong with you, man? Like people are glitching out.
Yeah, Mr.
crazy.
Rogers, I agree with you. And I hope, if I'm pushing too far, Killa, just don't kill me, okay? But like, I misheard you. I thought you talked about, and I'm not asking you to predict anything. I just want to know, what are some of the things that you've heard? I'm notice here holding you accountable. I'm the one who keeps on saying, "Oh, this stuff is definitely going to happen." So I'm definitely going to be the more crazy one here. But do you mind sharing, if we're not holding you accountable for it, do you mind sharing some of the stuff you've heard? Because I thought I heard you saying aliens were coming here to watch the apocalypse.
No, I never said that. I don't believe I ever said that. And like to say aliens, there's there's insurmountable evidence to show that there are species that aren't human that exist here and operate on the planet. I feel like that Musk wants to go to Mars for a reason. Uh, Hypothetically speaking, maybe there's a scenario taking place where we aren't as free as we think we are. And I just don't believe human beings are capable enough to pull this curtain of deception across everybody alone. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely like NHI like pulling some strings like puppeteers or something like that. Maybe not like necessarily like in cahoots with like verbally, but maybe just kind of like psychically controlling people to do certain things that they want or something like that, maybe.
Absolutely. The implants are real, and I wouldn't be shocked if in private sectors of technology that they know how to log in and make a person commit an act. I wouldn't. That's not too far off.
There's a lot.
Big homie, the
Oh, go
implant.
ahead, Boomer. Sorry.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mr.
go ahead.
I was just the implants. Theories are that there's both human-made implants and HLI-made implants. I wouldn't be surprised if like there's sharing, but when you say like if you wouldn't be surprised if you could log in, are you saying those implants are human-made and somebody's like, Manchurian candidate directing somebody?
Reason I don't believe they're all human made is because of this. David Paulides has a movie called Missing 411, The UFO Connection. In this movie, the same people that the guy was abducted by, I think his name was Carl, the same exact people he described, the same exact people that a remote viewer described. I forget, his name slips my mind right now. Ingo Swann. Ingo Swann described the exact same entity that this man Carl described. Exactly same clothes, same description, everything. So, in the movie also, a group of loggers said they seen an object come down, freeze a elk, lift the elk up in stasis lock, and fly off into the distance. Somebody is cataloging and monitoring all of the species on the planet. These are facts.
And so when you say somebody can log in, you were saying like an NHI could like log in maybe and make us do something or think something.
Yeah, definitely, because that's how, you know, people, there'll be a mass signing event, and some people will see something different than other people.
Do you know who the expert is or who's somebody who's accessible to us who deals with implants now since Dr. Lear died?
I want to say that's
I'm
fake
not gonna,
gnosis that you have that people will experience the shift differently.
Please
I'm not
raise your hand. We all need to raise our hands in here. I know my microphone was not working well for a while, and it started to sound like a regular UFO Twitter shit show. But let's all just raise our mics or raise our hands to talk. That. Go ahead, Killer.
Yes, I'm not gonna say the guy's name right now, but I'll reach out to him. Uh, he worked with Dr. Roger Lear. He was pretty hurt when he died. So that gentleman is still alive and well. I'll reach out to him and see if it's cool if I speak on the things what was conveyed to me. But they had an initiative called Hacking the Alien Internet. So if these two homegrown professionals, licensed doctors got this project going on, you can only imagine that there are other people with more resources who got the same project going
on. Thanks so much, man. And Mr. Rogers, I'm Big Homie's going to come back. I'm here to just hang out with you guys. It's pretty awesome. He's in the space here.
Yeah, it is. Big homie and I mean, yeah, we go way back, man. Way back 2 weeks. Yeah. But no, he's a good guy, man. And yeah, I'm so happy to have him here, man. I mean, yeah, look, I mean, I get a little bit on the doom side with Doomer too, but I mean, I'll just say this flat out is like, people have to be really, really ignorant to think that there's not some kind of mind control apparatus being used on the global populace through the use of intercepting products within the FDA and putting things in the foods and the beverages that we drink and through the airwaves and everything. I mean, America has the most poisoned food supply in all of the world. I bet not many people realize that when they go and they take their delicious daily vitamin that they're ingesting cyanide. Okay, but yeah, go ahead, Doomer or Big Killer.
Yeah, I don't have that many more questions for right now. I'm sure there's other people who want to come up. One last thing I want to know, I know you talked a little bit about Elizondo. Do you have a view of what's going on right now in Congress with the hearings Do you think for me, it feels like it's all dead in the water? Do you have any idea what the actual goal is here for disclosure?
So I wouldn't say it's dead in the water, but I would say this. There are a lot of other people who have found out that certain companies have had a stranglehold on certain technology and back engineered tech, and they want to get their hands on it as well. So the fact that it's coming to the forefront now is simply for that reason. America is run by dollars, point blank period. And the Democrats, Trump knows that they're holding on to this technology. Trump knows that if he gets his hands on it, the outcome of that, is an unimaginable amount of trillions. That's all it boils down to. Him threatening to reveal certain UFO information is to get that technology out so he can get his hands on it for him and his cohorts. They know about it, and that's what's going on. So for someone to tell David Fravor that what he saw was Lockheed technology, well, you see what's really going on here. And the James Webb Telescope discoveries, it's going to reveal some things soon, for sure. Uh, Human beings believe they're so special. And to me, that's the paradox within itself, because everyone feels like they have an opinion. This is why in China they make everybody go off a social credit score, and they keep you know their pyramids they got over there hidden and things like that. It's all to control the narrative, control the money, control the technology, and I just don't believe that human beings can pull it off by themselves. Trump knows that that technology exists. He knows that if he's able to get his hands on it, he can change the course of the world. And it's all about power and control. Them revealing that certain companies like Raytheon and all these guys are holding on to this technology information. These guys want their piece as well. So that's what's
So,
going on.
Killa, that means if they're holding on to it, that means the government hasn't pried it out of its hands. That means there's tech that contractors have that the government doesn't.
Yeah, definitely, because even Bigelow himself, he said it that some of the research some of the information that he was able to discover in Skinwalker, he didn't divulge to the government because they didn't hold up their end of the deal to give his company a craft. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man. Dougie, you've had your hand up for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks. Just a quick question. Has anybody talked about any of the domes in Death Valley in Siberia? And are those connected to the AI or the orbs or the self-defense grid or something like that? I don't know, Killa, if you heard anything or if anyone said anything in regards to those.
So the spheres initiate from out the ocean, and a gentleman told me not too long ago that him and some people are preparing to, I believe it's the Kalahari Desert. I believe they're going on an expedition into the Kalahari Desert to find some type of entrance to some type of facility that is not ran by humanity. So take it with a grain of salt. That's what the man told me. He's a good guy. Not somebody I know to be a liar, but they put their money up to go find it out. So a lot of things that we see in the sky originate out the ocean, and it's a reason why Tim Gallaudet is on the path that he's on, because he knows that under the water, a lot of these things originate from. And just like the guys out in Norway with the Hessdalen project, they've gone dark, but they've tracked the craft that came out the sky, settled on the bottom of the lake, and once they've made contact with it, they've been real quiet about it. So these just the facts, man. Like the disclosure's already happened, and people are so programmed that if their owners don't tell them what it is, they're not going to believe it. And I think that's engineered. It's engineered for a reason. Maybe our owners don't want us to know too much, because humanity, when I look at across the species, you don't really see a lot of intelligence all the time. And you know, we share 98%, I believe, our DNA with chimpanzees. Like, if that's the case, then if we evolved from them, then why do we still have chimpanzees? Why do we still have monkeys? I believe history has been edited by somebody. I don't think it's a human being.
Yeah, I often wonder when I go to Walmart and I'm thinking of disclosure in my mind, and I see a big Shirley with her pants falling off and her big nasty ass hanging out while she's grabbing jugs of milk, holding four toddlers in her arms, and belching out big burps and farting. I often wonder to myself, my God. Maybe people are not ready for the real disclosure around the world. If we can't get our shit together as a society, if somebody can't go and pull their fucking britches up while they're in Walmart, because I don't need to see that shit, how are we going to possibly be ready to learn the truth about what's happening?
I definitely agree. I believe in ancient history, there was a global civilization who probably reached a level where they left. This group of people we're involved with just not ready, and people panic so much. The disinformation campaigns that have been ran worked almost too good. And my wife is giving me the eye right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a few more questions, and I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Okay, who is next? Andrew, go first, and then we'll take Codex after that.
Codex had his hand up first, so I
Codex,
pass it on.
you have your hand up first. Yeah, go ahead, Codex.
Thank you so much. It's interesting you bring up people and their levels of intelligence. I personally, throughout all my UAP experiences and multidimensional happenings, there are people out there that receive downloads and information as the frequencies are changing in this universe. And there is ancient civilizations that have been around forever that they're now just discovering, or it has been hidden history throughout time. And one of my downloads that happened about a couple months ago, maybe more longer than that actually, was the idea of a soul intention building platform that I believe the creators of this world put into place. So the people that are thinking about not being able to, no, I guess what I'm trying to say is they're not handling, the ones that could not handle the disclosure are the ones that are still building their souls. They're not at the intelligence level. You mentioned, I think, apes, being part of the DNA that was used to create humans. And it's not their fault. When I look at it, I think to myself, we're not here to judge anybody. Everybody's on their own journey, their own growing. And I call it like the soul growing platform. So they're at their level, and the ones that are intelligent enough to understand realize that those people are not ready for this information. They have no idea how to process this information. And that is kind of, I'm guessing, why the control platform was put into place, just to not create chaos, havoc, and whatnot. But on another totally off topic, I wanted to ask you though, homie, that about the mermaids and the beings under the water, because there's been a lot of research, like most people don't talk about the dolphins and how throughout South America, like how it's very prevalent that they were part of the original species. And I'm just so fascinated with what you saw supposedly on this ship out in the ocean when you saw this world underneath. So have we talked about this yet? I came in a little late.
We covered it a little earlier. Yeah, go ahead, homie.
Well, when it comes to that, I'll say this: look into the Seychelles Islands, and so just search up Seychelles Islands, Joe Rogan, and a lot of your questions will get answered because there are maps from the 1600s that show areas where they say sirens occupy the water. These guys aren't lying about that because just like on every continent, there's a story about Sasquatch. Just like every origin story talks about a great flood. Yeah, every culture has a story about humanoids that live in the water. And the guy Luis Lamar encountered them, and he got photos of them.
Wow.
So it's just the facts. The circumstantial evidence is overwhelming.
Well, myths are not just myths. I mean, how can so many stories over like the centuries be fake? That's how I look at it. Like, there's truth in everything.
Absolutely. So that's why I look down on a lot of UFO debunkers because if you're gonna debunk your peers' testimony, that's how the Salem witch trial started. Like, that's actual primate behavior. You feel me? It's just not clown shit.
Wow. Wow. Man, it's deep, man. This topic is so deep. Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, I have no question. All I really was going to say is something that Killa said that resonated with me is disclosure. For me, it's already out there. It's already happened. Just most people are still so asleep at the wheel. They don't know what questions to ask, let alone to ask questions or where to look. So, but the information's out there. Just people just haven't had that moment in their life to just jar them awake to be like, that's weird, and then start asking questions and dig deeper and peel back layers. But for me, disclosure is pretty much already happened. But yeah, the big disclosure everyone's waiting for, it's probably not going to come from our government.
Well, they're probably looking in the wrong places too. Everybody's looking for these disk ships, and they do exist, but it's when they're open-minded and aware of like these multidimensional realities that exist.
A big homie. I know you mentioned your wife was kind of nudging you there. Do you want to make like a statement, like another statement before you leave our presence here to everyone listening tonight?
Yeah, of course. First and foremost, thank you to everybody tuning in. Please pardon my absence in the previous spaces that Doomer set up. And I just want to say that us as a species need to look ourselves in the mirror and accept certain facts and just understand the ramifications if there was a State of the Union address and leadership was to come out and say that we aren't the primary dominant species on the planet. The stock market will crash first day. We seen people buy all the toilet paper when COVID came. You couldn't get toilet paper, but you could get masks. So that just goes to show where our species is as a whole, and small groups of people need to unite to save themselves. There's a situation where a group of miners in the 1800s went into a mine. 59 of them died to save one guy that was stuck in the mine. And without that type of energy, the future looks bleak for humanity. And we're caught up in political parties. We're caught up in a lot of different things. And when you see billionaires say he hated that he caved to the Democrats for censoring stuff on Facebook, it lets you know that there's a concerted effort to keep people in the dark. So if you're able to remove the magic glasses, you're a person that's special, and you can't save everybody. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you all for having me.
Big homie. I could probably speak for most people in this space right now how much we appreciate you coming on here tonight and joining us. And this topic, and this is all Mr. Rogers kidding aside. This topic is so important. This is so. It's such a. We are living right now in the most amazing time of human history, and I strongly encourage those that believe in this subject that believe in the truth, that believe in disclosure, that believe in unlocking the keys and the secrets that have been withheld from us. I strongly encourage everyone in spaces, in groups, when people come in, and it's great for us to all have conversation, but when people come in and it's obvious that they're trying to create disruption or trying to change the narrative of the topic, and they are not open to getting to the truth, and they only believe in one angle of discrediting or debunking, I strongly encourage to mute those people, to drop them down, as someone like UFO Shane would say. We can encourage discussion. It's so important for us to have varying opinions. But the truth of the matter is that in this community and with this subject, in order to bring out disclosure, which I believe will come from people on the inside and in the private sector that have certain information and data to share, they need to feel, number one, comfortable. They need to feel like they are safe and in a welcoming place. They need to feel like they are able to share with people and that the people of the community will support them, believe them, and give them a platform to share what they know. And everyone here, I appreciate you for coming tonight. Doomer, Logan, want to say anything else before we close this out?
I just want to say thank you for sending me the invite to the space, for hosting the space and bringing Killa back in, and sending a co-host invite. And I think we're all trying to change. Like UFO Twitter doesn't want to change, doesn't want to be the same. We've had a few, I think, historical moments this year, and we're trying to, I don't know, grow up, professionalize, and still keep an edge, like an intellectual edge. If the next hearings could have like 10% the incisiveness of questions we'll get sometimes in UFO Twitter, the world would already be different. So I just love that you held the space, and I hope we do more stuff like this, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And